Hello, I'm Lisa Hill, and I'm going to give you a few quick tips and tricks on successfully weaving the pucker up scarf that is in the Webs Fall 2018 catalog. So what I've already done is left 12 inches unwoven for fringe, put in 2 plain weave picks of very slippery rayon ribbon that I will remove after washing as a weft protector, and then I've woven a few repeats of the pattern. But I'm back at the beginning of a new repeat of the motif. So I'm starting with treadles 5 and 6, which is block C, and it's the very beginning of the repeat that you'll see in your draft. And I'm going to start with an outline weft, and I'm observing a couple of things when I do this. The first is where my adobe blocks, whether they are up warp floats or down, which will create weft floats, and I need to keep my passive weft, my inactive shuttle, with wherever those threads in this block are floating. So in this case, I hope you can see that clearly, these threads are down, so I'm putting my shuttle down while I weave my first couple of blocks of my zephyr. Okay, so the first 2 picks of this block C are going to be outline weft, and it's going to be in the Aegean zephyr, and I'm going to do it with a technique called no tails at the selvage, and I first learned of it from Chris Hamill, and I don't know if she created it or if she found it somewhere, but in any case, the reason for it is so that you don't get the overlap when you're adding wefts intermittently. You're not going to get the overlap placed at the same place over and over, so you get an uneven bead or a buildup somewhere. So here I've placed this overlap here, this one here, this here, this here, this here. I've been moving across the warp, and so in this case I'm going to place the next one right here. I throw my first pick on treadle 5, beat, treadle 6, tuck in, tuck my tail in, and bring it out where I want to place it. Bring the other side on the shuttle over, overlap for about an inch, beat it, and then clip it off, because I'm not going to be using this weft again until the end of this particular of the motif. Okay, and then I'm going to finish weaving the rest of my block using treadles 5 and 6. And you have to occasionally be a little careful that when you're using this copper and you're making a long jump along the selvage edge, that you get it good, well tucked in, so there's not a lip. And now I'm going to continue weaving with copper, but I'm changing my treadles, and instead of 5 and 6, I'm now moving to 1 and 2, block A. And when I do that, before I continue weaving with my copper, I need to observe my adobe. And do you see how the relationship has changed? So now my adobe block here is up to create a warp float. So I need the shuttle carrying the passive weft to come up and be carried along with those warp floats on top. Okay, so now I'm going to weave 8 picks of my block A. And now I'm going to start with block B on treadles 3 and 4, and that's going to be woven in adobe. And as you can see, block B is weaving plain weave, but I need to get my shuttle. If I start from the edge, I'm going to get a crazy thread crossing over my copper, which I don't want. So what I'm going to do is tuck my shuttle in there and weave for then that first pick is the only time you have to tuck. From now on, it's going to catch exactly where it should. And I'm going to weave my 8 picks, and just because I don't want this to get tangled up, I'm going to bring my shuttle up to just get it out of the way of my copper block. And my next block is going to be A on treadles 1 and 2, and you can see this weft is where it should be. So I'm going to weave my 8 picks of block A on treadles 1 and 2, and now I'm going to go to block C on treadles 5 and 6, and again I'm observing what my adobe block is doing, and you can see that block is down, so I need to make sure that my shuttle joins those threads down. And now I'm going to weave 6 picks because I need to save the last picks of this block for my outline. Now I'm ready for my Aegean, and once again, I'm on treadle 5. I'm going to throw it, and I want it to overlap right there because I'm moving it across the warp, so I'm leaving a little tail. Treadle 6, tuck, bring my shuttle over, overlap for about an inch, beat, and then you can clip it off. And then because I've completed this X motif, I'm going to advance my warp a little bit. And then I'm going to make the divider blocks, which are going to be D and B. So D is in Adobe. And again, I need to arrange my shuttle so that I can weave it easily. So I'm just going to bring it up and weave my 8 picks. So D on treadle 7 and 8. And then I'm going to bring it up so that it's at its own selvage for a second while I change to block B. And then I'll be able to easily throw it for my 8 picks of block B, which is on treadles 3 and 4. Again, getting it out of the way. I know that my next block is A, so I know that my Adobe blocks will be up for block A. Once again, I'm starting a new motif. This is going to be my O's here, and so I need an outline. So I'm bringing in my Aegean, and I've pretty much overlapped across every motif, so I might just get it right here at the edge. Treadle what? Tuck in, and I'm going to tuck it to here. There we go. Treadle 2, and I'll bring it out right here. Oops, there we go. And I'm going to clip it. And I'm going to continue weaving my next 6 picks with copper. Okay, now I'm moving to block C on treadles 5 and 6, and I see that my relationship with Adobe has changed, so I'm moving my Adobe down. And I'm weaving 8 picks of copper. Bring that out of the way. Okay, and then my next block will be a D block. And I need to put my Adobe shuttle in place to weave D block, which are treadle 7 and 8. Put it in place, weave 8 picks, and I'm going to get it out of my copper area, put it up there. Although I actually know that my next block is C, so I know that my Adobe block is down on block C. And so when I'm thinking about placing my shuttle, I can actually anticipate even before I treadle my C block, I can anticipate that I'm going to want my shuttle down, my Adobe shuttle down, because I know that that's the position it holds when I'm treadling my C block with the copper. And then again, we know that we're switching to A block, and we know that our Adobe shuttle needs to be up when we're weaving copper with A block. And we have 6 picks, and then we're going to need to do our outline. And we want the overlap to be over here, so I'm going to make the tail a little longer. Okay, so I've done my outline. I wanted to clarify that before I was talking about I've done an X, I've done an O, etc. But I just wanted to say that, of course, in the threading, we're getting X's and O's across the entire warp, but I usually focus on one section and say, okay, I'm alternating X's and O's, and so I'll just follow this one section in order to keep track of the pattern myself, and I know what the treadling sequence is based on whether it's an X or it's an O. There are 2 ways to sort of approach this, I believe. One is every time you're about to weave a block, or you're ready, you're poised, trying to figure out where your shuttle needs to be, you stop a moment and observe. And the other is you slowly learn the sequence and you anticipate and you will know where to place your shuttles. You'll probably do a combination of those, but don't worry about memorizing the sequence. As I said, just pause, observe what the threads are doing, at each transition point and go from there. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope that helped, and good luck weaving your pucker up scarf. Kisses and hugs.